Hi, everybody. Hello, guys. I'm sitting here and we're going to jump right into it. Welcome, 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 welcome. Your girl got a new hairdo, y'all. Can y'all hear me? How do you feel? Let's get this mic settled and then we can get started. Y'all welcome. Welcome to the show. How are you guys doing? Give me one moment. Hi, everybody. How you doing? I got my microphone awesome. What's up? How the week been? Yo, welcome to the show. Welcome to Let's Talk with Miss Fee. My name is Felicia. I am your host. Super excited to be here tonight. Hopefully you guys had a really, really great week. Yeah, sorry, I'm fidgeting all over the place, but I got a new hairstyle. I can't help myself. I can't help myself. So let's do our due diligence. We have to share the show. Please share, 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 share. So that way we can get our audience situated. Yeah. So I was on some lockdown today from Facebook shut me down today from posting too much. It looks like I cracked the internet. So it was like I cracked the internet. I cracked Facebook. They told me they kept behind me telling me I needed a post, I needed a post, I needed a post. So I said, okay, I'll post all right. And I just kept posting all day today. And they're like, we want to make sure we're not getting a lot of spam. So please, 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 please don't post anymore. And I'm like seriously? So I can't really post anything anymore, you guys, right now. So sorry, I'm trying to check to make sure we're good. So I need y'all to bear with me. They want me to post, but then they don't want me to post. Like, stream, yeah, I'm gonna need y'all to stop putting your stuff in there. Y'all don't pay me to do all of this, put your handles and all that, um, all your extra things to the bottom. How 10% off? Like, like for real, for real. Why are we doing that? Y'all don't. Y'all don't pay me. So, so, so. Well, welcome to the show. I'm waiting for the rest of them to get here, but I will start out by saying welcome. We are literally growing. Please, I'm begging you guys. Tonight, I'm going to beg for stars because I'm trying to get to the next level on this Facebook thing, and they're not allowing me to do it if I can't. I don't know how I will share this show tonight because um, I'm blocked from sharing. So I'm kindly asking you guys to share. I'm telling you, share it to all the places you know you can share it. Tonight, I'm gonna pin the link in the comment section. I apologize. Last week, I have forgot. I got carried away with all the network issue, and I did not post the link for you guys to join, but we'll give it a few minutes for people to gather here. So the link to the show is pinned in the comment section. Just go ahead and tap on it, and you'll be right up here with me. I'm hearing you guys that we're taking too long. We stay too long on here, so we're going to be very, very careful with our timing, and it's actually really hurting our growth. So I hear you, I hear you, and I hear you. So we will try to make sure the show is not too long, so that way the attention span for our audience, um, we can keep it and not, you know, lost you guys in the midst of it. Okay. But anyways, few housekeeping stuff. Please share the show, share it, subscribe. Please, I'm begging you guys. It's 99 cents. I don't ask you guys for anything on here. All I'm asking you is to subscribe to this page, invite your friends. We talk about positive things. And, that's all I'm asking you. Just subscribe. It's 99 cents. I don't understand how iffy people feels about putting their cart on here. You guys, even I myself was kind of iffy about it, and but I had to set it up anyways. So please, I'm kindly asking you subscribe, send me some stars tonight to activate me to the next level. I'm asking for your support. It doesn't have to be a lot. You don't have to send me a whole bunch of stars. Just send me a little bit. That's it. Like it can even be 50 stars. It can even be 100 stars. However you feel like going. So that's the housekeeping stuff we're going to be doing right now. Um, let's see. So tonight we're gonna dive a little bit deeper into the show. I'll get started really quick because I really want to be um careful about the timing of you guys and myself as well. So as you guys know, I have little kids and I need to be very, very mindful. It's just like I cannot post anything anymore, you guys. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Let me let me get our producer to help me share this show because I can't share it and I need to share it. Let's see. Oh yeah. All right. So I'm about to open the show. I'm trying to get my people to get on. Let's see where they're at. If not, I will just get started. They're the one who told me we should do part two of the show, right? They're not even here. Where are you guys? Where are you guys? Hold on, guys. Oh yeah, there's somebody new who wants to join the show tonight. So let me go ahead and send the link over to him. One of a old friend of mine from college, and I hope he can join on here tonight. Let's see. Richard. I hope, I hope. What's their name? We'll send it to him. But anyways, welcome to the show. How was your week? It's been a very interesting, busy yet fulfilling week. If you guys notice, I've tried my best to really stay active online throughout the week and be intentional about the things that I'm posting. Going forward, those are the things you'll be seeing from me throughout the week. If you have any topic that you're interested in, you would like us to discuss, you feel free to reach out to us. and send me those. DM me. I got a few DMs that said, I like your show, but it's too long. Like I can't sit there and catch up with the whole thing. So we're going to try to be very, very careful about our audience and what our targets are saying and what I mean, whatever you guys says really do matters. Sometimes we get carried away with the conversation, and it's really important for us to discuss it. So that's why we keep going longer into um, we take a lot of time into the conversation, but I really want us to be mindful of that. So let's get started. With that being said, hi again. My name is Felicia. I am your host, aka Miss V. We are coming up. I don't know what's going on with me this year, but I lost track of this. Do you know September 29 will make this podcast 2 years? I cannot believe it. 2 good years. 2 years, y'all. I've been on your case for 2 years. Can you imagine that? Let me see, when is the 20th? The 29th is on Monday, and it's only important that I come live that day. So 29, September 29 will be making us um 2 years on here. I think I've created over 100 episodes and different topics we've discussed. Um, wow. And this podcast was born due to my friend, my late friend that passed away that sowed that seed. So it is very, very interesting. We've been here for that long. So I don't know. They're not coming on. It's about 9:14 now. So I will get started. I was trying to um okay. All right. So it seems like everybody's cricket. So I'll get started. I'll just get you guys an intro. Trying to make this thing a little bit more, you know, professional. Call me professional. Trying to get this thing really good so that way we can hold on, hold on, hold on. Where are my notes? So last week we talked about, um marriage, marriage, deciding to live in when your marriage is over or your relationships is over, deciding to stay under the same roof for financial reasons and all of that. We had a very, very rich conversation about it. I felt really strong. I said that no, I didn't want. I don't think it makes sense for somebody to stay under the same roof when clearly the relationship is over. I know we have so many different views on that, and some people. I mean, Peterson, towards the end of the towards the end of this, I really felt I was leaning towards what Peterson was saying, but as I was trying to prepare for this week, trying to look at the pros and cons of that. I know some of the pros were discussed last week and some of the cons were discussed last week, but as you guys all know, this podcast is rooted in Christianity. So we have to tie things together to make it make sense in our world if we're deciding to go that route. So tonight, we're going to be diving a little bit deeper into what that looks like, and how do you even sense that when you're about to start, when the wheels are falling off. You guys, sorry. I don't know what this is saying to me. When the wheel's about to fall off, and you guys, I'll ask who's here. Look who's here. Anna's supposed to join with her face. I'm waiting for her, and she's not even on here yet. Anna, hmm, let me send her a message. I'm waiting for her. She was supposed to join on here. She told me she was getting ready to come on, and she was gonna show her face today. So, welcome to the show, Liberian Eminent. Oh, why whenever I see your name in the comment section, I'm always laughing. Like, this is funny. It's not a bad thing though. I think I just like how you keep the comment section going. But I would love for you to join us though. The link is in the comment section. I would really like for you to come up here. It'd be nice to have some really, really nice, conversation with you. I think I think you're brilliant. You should come on. You don't have to show your face. I'm not requiring you to show your face. But anyways, welcome back everybody. Tonight, like I said, we're continuing part 2 of the element no, the segment that we started last week about marriage and roommates. It is happening a lot in the Western world, specifically in the United States. It's becoming the new norm. And it's like I've built this. He said that was secret. I guess so. Every time I see you, I just cheesing. Oh Lord. But I hope you can come on here. But yeah, welcome back. It's a lot going on in the United States. Finance things, prices are wrecking up. The Miss Independents are crying now. The ones, they're really looking for, partnership, and they're looking for someone that they're on the same page with. And it's just a lot happening, and a lot of people are trying to find the alternative. It's like I like you, but I know tonight I have my microphone. Everything's working good. Oh man, it's my birthday tonight. It's working really good tonight. I mean, last week was just, oh my goodness. But, like I said, welcome back tonight. We're continuing part 2 of last week segment about marriage or roommates, between couples that find themselves in a situation where they're like, well, I don't want to be with you anymore, but I'm accustomed to this type of lifestyle. Or, as we all know, it is about the lifestyle these days. Or basically just finance, and it will be easy for the kids. There's a lot of things that are coming down to us where people, right, like Liberian Eminence said, the world is in crisis. Is definitely it's not my birthday, Liberian Eminent. You should know my birthday. Look at you, my birthday is in February. I just The world is in such a, I don't even know what the word to use for this, but you said it best. The world is definitely in crisis, and everybody's trying to figure out, instead of me being on my own stressing out and God forbid dying, from stress that I can't afford living. I will tell you right now in the US, I don't care, people making like 200,000 can barely even survive, without trying to get some type of alternative help from somewhere. It's really, really bad. The economy is bad. So a lot of couples, even though they find themselves, they don't want to be in a relationship, they're finding an alternative to just, let's stay under the same roof, save some money. I don't like you, you don't like me, but we're not interested in this romantically, but we can just be here and take care of our kids. You can date, I can date. And for me, last week, I think that's dangerous. I think is not a great idea, in my opinion. But tonight we're going to be diving a little bit deeper in what happened when the spark fades, right? When you're no longer interested and the only interest you have is, hey, I can tolerate you as a human being. I love you once, so why can't we just stay here for financial reason? We have kids together. But I'm just thinking how confusing that would be for the children when mom decides to date again and dad decides to date again. How does that look like? It's just, I guess I'm looking at it from a social standpoint only and not focusing on the other possibility. Last week, that's where I was at, and everybody wanted us to do a part two of this where we talk about the pros and cons. We're going to weigh the pros and cons of staying in that space. Like, what's good about it? What's bad about it? Most importantly, we're going to share practical tools to help couples. If you're a couple, again, disclaimer, I am not a relationship expert. I'm just here sharing my thoughts on these things and how it works. If you choose to use it in your own life, hey, be at it. If you want to share anything that would be helpful for us over here, because this is all done for learning and to just bring an eye opening things in our community that we're not really discussing that's happening. See why I like for you to come here, because I feel like I'm talking to you, but I wish you could come on though. Can you come on today? Come on now. He said marriage without friendship, uh, much like one without humor, laughter, and romance can turn into emotional, dry, functional. I agree. Business like partnership. Poor marital friendship can open a roommate. I agree. Absolutely. Relationship or even just create an open for an emotional and physical affair. I agree, and that's where I think I'm a little bit shaky about, because I feel like that creates such a trauma, because we're all human being, and at some point you were definitely into this other individual and you were attracted to them, and now it's like you have to put a blind eye. And how does that dynamic work? Like, are you going to be able to bring your partner in the home that you initially built as a couple, and now your roommate, and how does that look like out there in the world for your children? I don't know. It's just like, well, I guess that's what we're having this part to look into it, right? Um, so this is a conversation that I feel like we should have and that nobody should miss. So let's get started. Invite everybody. Invite grandma, grandpa. I absolutely agree with you. Um, I don't know. I feel like I don't know how relationship will look like in the near future, because it's becoming so, I know everybody use this word and I really don't want to use it to say it's toxic, but I don't know. I feel like everybody's fluid with it. Like, it's just, I don't know if that's even a good thing to say about it. That I don't get why most broken people form broken relationships, are dating apps looking for love, knowing that that's very about looking for love. They're only waiting to devour. I agree. You know what's really, really interesting, right? That I think too, before we even get to these points that I want to make, I think you really struck an important point, because a lot of people will go on these dating site and say they're looking for soulmate. They're looking for, X, Y, and Z. They're looking for this. Why is it saying hide? Show. Hmm. What? Stream? Yeah, don't. I don't use bad words. Don't act crazy on me. That's the only word I can use for now. Don't be acting on me now. So I feel like people are just living in a moment sometimes, and it's just like how I feel and not looking at, I think the closest thing to death, which is, is the partner you choose to spend your life with. And I don't know if people really think about The other day I was reading something, and I remember this lady said, she said she was telling her daughter, she's like, the partner you pick could possibly be the one making the decision for me to stay alive or not. And I was like, I didn't really think about that. Like, would they think the same for you? Let's just say, God forbid, all your other siblings were not around and your parents were there, and your partner is the only one, you're helpless, and your partner has to make that decision on behalf of you guys. Will he make the decision that you will make that will be in favor of you and your family? Like, I don't know how to really express that, but it just didn't. It really resonated with me, and it was like, yeah, you should be really careful with the type of people you decide to spend the rest of your life with, because it could make or break it. And now here we are at a crossroad. Who knows? The whole world is gonna get even worse, and people can't even tolerate each other for 2 seconds. So how do we cope in this new modern world of, hey, we don't love each other on a romantic level. Let's live in the same home. What are the pros of that? Always we have to look at um the pros first, then we'll look at the negative side of it, and then I'll tell you what I would do um, if I find myself in that situation, which most of you guys can already guess. Felicia's gonna be walking out because I don't like to put myself in situation that make me feel uncomfortable. I feel like I'm a very strong-headed person, but as a human being, sometimes um, it's hard for you to navigate those things, um, especially when it's not in your interest, and it's like, why am I here? Like, this just anyways, we'll get to that. I guess I was trying to do all this small talk and move around to see if everybody else were going to join on here, but I guess they're not, so I'm just going to dive into it. um let's see what he said. Partner will only make decision if you're not mentally competent. True. True. I agree. Yeah, that's what I mean by that. Let's just say you can't. And that's where your partner have to help you, to make that decision. Would they make a decision that would benefit you in the light that if you were alive, you would make that decision? I feel like that's what a lot of people need to really think about when, even if it's a partnership or it's just, but from the way life is going, I think everybody just want partnership. Nobody wants that cookie cutter marriage, quote unquote. Like, I really don't see it happening in my kids' generation. But we pray that God will help them, that they can find people that genuinely love them, and they will want to, continue the livelihood of relationships. Let's see. See, yeah, I can't put myself in a situation I can't handle, because if that man, I'm walking outside, I see he not get a new Jew, and when I agree, I say, yeah, yeah, fine, you can dance, fine. I'll just be in my room, I'll be talking. And then to come outside to my car to get something, see him like, oh, what? Oh, I'm telling me, I pay bills in here. I have every right to be in here. We are human beings. We are human beings. And, it's not always going to be, roses. I do get where, last week, Peterson has said, if people can decide, to, I forgot what he said last week, but basically he was saying anything is possible. People can make those decisions. I believe it can be. Anyway, we're getting to that. Let me go straight to this. We still, so what are, stability in relationship, like what are the pros of staying in a relationship that's already over, but you're deciding to stay in the same roof, under the same roof? Because one, some of the pros could be, financial security. Like I said earlier, you're used to having two incomes. You're used to, living your life. Um, You share the bills, you're able to take vacations, you're able to do all that. Vice versa, the way the economy is looking right now, shoot. Um, you got to pay your rent. Like I'm just trying to picture this. Like 8 years ago, no, about 9 years ago, I had just left college and I got my own apartment. And I live in downtown, like just picturing how it looked back then. And I'm like, yeah, I'm this independent girl. I'm working, I'm making money. I'm like, what, 23, 24, I believe. And I'm like, yeah. And people are like, oh, you're so young. And my brother's talking about, why are you wasting money living way over here? Like just a lot of things I'm hearing that. And I'm like, well, my security matter. I'm a single girl and I can handle this and da da da. Just a lot going on, right? And then look, comparing it to right now, let's just say Felicia's deciding, yeah, I can go on my own, be by myself, I ain't trying to be in this relationship anymore, blah, blah, blah. And now I'm stuck with this, like your rent is like what? The let's just say the minimum right now about 1900 for a room. And at that time my one bedroom apartment, I think I was paying like what, 12, 1300. It wasn't like that bad compared to that because it was just where I was living. It was gate indoors, like very high security area. So of course I was paying that amount, but you could have found an apartment that cost like 800, $900. Right now you can't even find a studio apartment for $900 unless you really want to live in the ghetto. And for me, there's three things that's very important to me. My safety, when it comes to my safety, where I live, the food I eat, and the car I drive. Well, I don't really care about the car I drive, but it has to be safe. Like the car has to be safe. Pretty much that's what I mean. So at that time, those were the three things that was really important to me. And I'm living this life, and any guy who comes to me like, yeah, I don't need you. Like you have that type of attitude. But right now, the way the entire world is going and looking, you really have to be good stewards because and you can't let your emotion take have the best of you because you're gonna be stuck. It's a lot going on. And now compared to before, I have kids, I have two children. Then I'm gonna go, they gotta go to school, I have to work, and like just wrapping the whole thing over my head and just thinking about it, I can understand and really see why people will want to do that. So let's read your comment. I like doing this while we're conversing because it helped me a little bit. Is that family law also covers and work to prevent cases of domestic abuse, of course. This include within marital relationship and the children involved, as well as between family members and roommates. The court would typically issue a restraining order if allegations are made. Of course, I agree. But, just to kind of like, add, right? Or to kind of like bring you into the topic. Last week we talked about, couples who've decided, yeah, they plan that between both of them that we don't want, I'm not sexually attracted to you anymore. I really don't want this marriage. I want out. But because, X, Y, and Z, how the economy is looking, can we stay under the same roof? You have this side of the house, I have this side of the house, and we move on with our life. You'll never know that I'm here. I'll never know you're here. But that's where this is kind of like wiring to, if that make any sense. But like I was saying, right? Right now it's not very smart to make that type of decision. So a lot of people, of course, the first pro you're looking at why you want to come up with this deal with your um, quote unquote extreme ex or ex partner. I don't know, whatever that is. How do we even call that, right? How do you do that for financial reason? That's some of the pros. That's why people will want to do such a thing. Because last week I was thinking like, why not anybody wants to do that? Like, why would I want to do that? Like, I when I first thought about this topic, I was like, why would I want to do that? Because I read something um where this woman was like, "Oh, my husband wants to leave, but I'm thinking maybe we can just stay under the same roof." And that really sparked this topic. That was what really brought this topic out because I've heard it many times, but just to hear from the woman's side to say, "Yeah, I want to stay." So financial reason, like last week, I gave an example of, let's just say Alicia, you're a stay-at-home mom. You're taking care of two children. You both have made an agreement that yeah, for the sake of financial reasons, we are going to. You guys, Andrew's coming. Oh, there you are. Let me fix this. Hey, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Emily Kono, the class, no, I got to join. At least took some a late break to be here, John.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, so right now I'm talking about the pros, for financial reasons. And tonight I kind of want to add some scripture to it because I feel like we're kind of deep rooted in, Christianity. So if people are watching that are Christians, they can kind of like try to tie this to it because I know a lot of people tell you, no, you can't do that. You can't. But let's see what this scripture said, and then I'll let you jump in real quick. So the first pro of possibly somebody wanting to stay in a relationship due to whatever it is. Financial reason. It says shared responsibility can lighten the load. So you don't feel like you're all by yourself. Like I just said about, let's just say 10 years ago, sitting here, I was somebody who was saying, yeah, I can live by myself, make enough money, I can survive on my own. But right now, looking at it, and I'm like, I don't think I can like afford to live by myself and live comfortably by myself with just my own income and with two children. That's not possible right now. I could, there are other means you could figure it out, but the way I want to live my life, I don't know. I don't think it will work. So let's hear from you.
Mm, Exactly.
Mhm.
I think yeah, it can be difficult, for one person to share, to maintain a bill, you know, even if you're making tons of money or whatever the case. But like some of the advantages that people want to stay in a relationship for is because they want to continue to coexist and be able to manage their favorite bills like you just all on right now. If you alone, with two kids and maybe you are working, it's unfortunate you will not be able to be able to shoulder all of the responsibility if the father is not in the lives of the children and you alone would not be able. So you're coming to think about the people, both sides, men and women, they will want to be together so they can be able to. So one person will say, look, I will pay this bill, and the other person will say, I will take care of this one. But looking at it in our setting now, is some of them they are overlooking the financial reason. But the financial reason is one of the key elements of whole relationship stronger. And, because if both of you are sharing responsibilities, it will continue to make the love to grow. It will continue to make both of you to respect each other. But in the absence of that, you know, take me for real. It will not work, they will not move forward. And one person going to foot the bill, and then at the end of the day, that person will always, go into some state of depression and say, I cannot do this one alone myself. And then at the end of the day, this is the reason why you see a lot of homeless people, women and men, because they alone cannot be able to foot the bill of the entire house. You think about it, the food, let's say the groceries in the home, you have to pay the utilities, you got to pay the rent, you got to pay the car notes, you got to do everything, car notes and insurance before that comes from your paycheck, obviously. But if both of you are sharing the bills, you will be able to save some money, and at the end of the day, you guys will smile. So financial reason is one of the key reasons is important in a relationship. Is one of the greatest advantages in maintaining a relationship.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that. So just want to add this, like a scripture with that. Ecclesiastes says 4 verse 9 says, two are better than one because they have good reward for their labor, right? So that's kind of like what you just described. Two is better than one, but remember the Bible also said you have to be equally yoked, right?
Yeah, two is better than one. They
Mhm.
say two two cannot work until they agree.
Right,
So when both of you agree to something, that's the only time it will be able to work. The first thing it should be that mutual understanding and agreement would have come between the both of you. Okay, that should
absolutely.
exist between the both of you. When that's happened, then both of you will be able to go perfectly to drop perfectly to where you're going to go. But again, it comes to the issue of the scripture. You know, they must not be unequally yoked. They also
Right.
people they should come with one understanding, one idea. Both of them will come with the same. I mean, I don't want to be how do you call it religiously sentimental.
Right.
But if for instance I'm from Christian and I marry somebody from a different faith, how how both of us will agree on some things? Sunday come, I want to go to church. Then he said, no, you're not going to church on today. You're not going to church. So people should be able to balance, their faith, and, their religion and their love life together. Because you don't want to get in a relationship with somebody that both of you do not really share the same faith. Even if the person is not going to church, but the person must share the same faith. There are people who say, "Oh, man, I'm Christian," even though they can't go to church, but at least they recognize Lord and Savior as Jesus as our Lord and Savior. And then yes, they say, "We are. I'm a Christian. I'm a Christian."
Right. Thank you. Thank you for that. Welcome to the show, Anna. I'm hoping you show your face tonight.
I didn't put my real face on.
I'm
You
not.
promised me though.
You
You
see, I show you
promised
my
me,
face. Is
and
that
I
my face
promised
there?
Yeah, bye.
someone.
I show you my face. Is that my face there?
I was just messing with her. Welcome to the show, Jimmy. You were sleeping. Wake
Let's come
up.
on. Let's come on. Let's come on. You come start putting a cup on another person who came very early.
Oh, all of y'all look like y'all were sleeping. It's okay.
I just got home not too long.
I know. I know. I
No,
know.
no
Welcome to
worries, my
the
man. We
show.
know it
Come
also.
to
And I say
make
I'm
noise,
on
son.
the clock.
I know. So before I let you
There
guys
you go,
come in
son.
quick, really quick, let me read this comment. I already had it. He said, reciprocity is the cornerstone of any successful relationship. If one person is constantly taking more than they give, I agree. The relationship will eventually crumble. It's about balance and mutual effort. Sure, sure, absolutely. So right before you guys join in, we just covered financial reasoning as some of the pros that me, have somebody stay in a relationship. We talk about the verse that kind of go with that. And then the next thing we want to talk about is the consistency for family. Like stability provides foundation, right? It makes people feel, especially when children are involved. So, does any of you guys just joining in? Do you want to expand on that? What do you think about that pros of, is that a really concrete, a good reason that you would say, yeah, I would do that. I would stay in that relationship for some consistency for the family, for the sake of the family. We know that's because children are involved. So, let's do it so we're staying under the same roof. But I have other ideas about that. Let me just hear from you. Who wants to go? Anna, are you in a position to give your
I'm
thought on
putting the
that?
kids. I'm putting them a movie so
Okay,
that I
let's
can.
hear. Let's hear from Jamie. Thank you.
Ma, can we watch?
Go ahead. So before you come in, we can't even hear you. Let me read the verse that goes with that, right? Consistency for the family. Stability for provides a foundation for children and household. Proverbs 22:6 said, train up a child in a way he should go, even when he is old, he will not depart from it. So some people feel like by staying under the same rule, you're able to be consistent with the type of rules you're bringing your children up with. So that would be some of the pro that some people will feel like, yeah, I want to do this roommate style with my soon to be ex or my ex.
Look, from the very onset,
Mhm.
uh, on the first day we discussed the topic, I believe separation or divorce or roommate, once the relationship ends, you both to go your way
Mm,
because before couple go into or before people go into breakup, separation, divorce, there are several factors that they take into considerations. Among those factors is the issue of incompatibility.
mm,
And sometimes two persons can be emotionally incompatible. That means you both um have not, healed you to each other's, you know, emotional well-being. Um, you both do not, you know, consider each other mental state or feelings. Another factor, that they consider is the issue of inequality or equality. Apart from that, they also consider security, which is, the overall thing, because security could be emotional, insecurity, financial insecurity, you know, and you name it. So there are a lot of things that couples consider, people should think on before considering divorce or separation. So once you've reached to that place where you are both decide that okay, we're going to end this, you must have a plan to live outside of, you know, get away from each other. Or else it's just going to be, it's going to be trauma and re-traumatization. You know, you're going to be going through a lot of stress with each other, with family, with friends. So, what are financial, reasons that couple consider to become roommate after, breakup or separation or divorce? Those things still, play. I don't see them as a significant part because if you have any financial reason to be together, that should be settled during the time of the divorce.
mm.
You see, if okay, let's say we got a house together. Okay, one person should be able to buy the other person out of the house.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, you want to say something?
No, I'm saying I'm just reacting to what you said, buying the person out. Like, remember the finance were together before, so how do you do that?
Yes, yes. You should be able to buy. You should be able to buy the other person out. That means uh do you find I got an appraiser to come and appraise the house, get the value of the house, okay, how much the house is worth, if you both decide to sell it. Okay, whoever decide to stay in the house, whoever decide to keep the house, should be able to buy the other person house. I mean the other person out. Let's say the value of the house is 400,000. Okay, so if I want to keep the house, I should be able to buy the other person out with 200,000 or whatever amount we will agree on. Okay, or if the female is keeping the house and we have kids, I say, okay, settle me with 50,000 because of the kids, until they turn 18 and be able to move out. Settle me with 50,000, and then when the kids move out, you give me you know the the other balance, depending on the value of the house at that time. You see, but we there should be no reason where two people who have decided to put an end to a relationship should stay together in the same place, not even because of the children. No. Or as these same children will continue to see your fight, will continue to see your, or insult each other, will continue to see the misunderstanding, between, the two of you, which could, affect their mental state. So the best thing to do is the court will settle everything. The court will settle everything. Whoever has custody of the children, you know, should understand that, maybe the weekend, the kids will go with this person, spend the weekend or for vacation and all, stuff like that. So all these things will be settled during the time, of the divorce in the court. And once the divorce is concluded, everybody should be able to go on their own.
So you're just standing your ground that this pro, you don't care how pro is it is. Like, no, I'm not staying for that pro
No,
because
no, no. Because
it's like you're just like it's done, it's done.
staying there also makes it very difficult to move on.
I just thought about that. Like, how does that look like for an individual that's like dating? I would love to hear Peter sing on this one because I think he almost convinced me last week, but he's not here yet. But yeah, thank you so much for that. I saw this comment. He says, "Settle for someone who gives you enough assurance for you to avoid overthinking every night. Someone who is willing to comfort and understand you when you're struggling or lack the energy to talk. Ideally, right? Someone who gives you the same levels of effort and energy put in. I agree. I think life is so easy to live, but people make it. It's an incompatibility to temper yourself.
So let me quickly make a point on what Jimmy just said.
Sure,
Jimmy
sure.
made a point on the issue of he drew my attention on the issue of someone having to or wanting to bar or could bar, the other partner, or depending on what the law says about that. And based on the nature of the relationship, like I said last week, I have a good friend of mine. He's in Figo, North Dakota. He's going through similar issue like that. Almost 6 years, he and his alcohol estranged wife, they have not lied in the same room.
Hmm. But they're
They
still,
haven't.
we still like married.
Yes, they are in the process. They are not initiated any divorce yet. None of them have initiated it. She doesn't want to initiate it, even though she doesn't want a relationship. And he wants to do it, but he's still thinking that some factors also involved too. On the issue of his children, and on his children, the issue of his children too. The children are also involved. So you know something? On the issue of the children are also involved. And then he came and said, well, he only fortunate to see how best they can sell the house and then take his own portion of his own money and go somewhere else. And that is the real rule to the extent that even the both of them, even when she cooks something in the house that he used to buy his own money, he bought something in the house, the food, and brought it in the house to, for instance, he put it down. Or even if she bought something for him, and he takes it to eat it, it's a complete loss. So for that reason, he doesn't eat anything in his house. He want to eat himself, cook his own food and eat it, but yet they live in the house and the children are there so embarrassed about the situation. One of the kids should be about 16 now, the other one should be about maybe I think 11 or so. So it's and this is person here myself we talk most of the time, and I will always ask because I know about that relationship. This was the person who that were working in on my supervision back then. So I know about the whole relationship and I know even how they managed to immigrate to the US. So seeing that this happen like this, it's frustrating, even though I tend to side with Jimmy, on the issue of that. He myself was staying the same ground. They should offer me, they should not let me same place. But we are looking at the reason why people always want to keep relationship, they want to stay together, want to keep relationship is because and just before I end, I'll find a series, a movie series, and when I conclude it, I will come by relating to the same thing. This is a gentleman and this girl, the lady, they went together before, they were together before them, they started could have separate ways, but because of the sake of the children, two of them, both of them went separate ways. They have different relationships, but because of the sake of the children, the movie is like wanting to put two of them back together. Two of them can't want to let go of each other. Yeah. So I thought to just put that one in. So that is a very difficult situation, and somebody must try to buy that friend out, whatever the case. If you don't ever a relationship, you leave from them. I can tell my friends, say, look, you brave, you strong, but for me, I can't do it. I will either walk out and go somewhere else. Just put my case out there. I will walk out. Thought to add that one.
It's mind boggling, like just listening to what you're saying, because I just feel like they're creating more damaged human being. I hate to say that, but I feel like those kids, they're, I'm really trying to be politically correct, but I feel like they're both of them have made that decision. And I feel like as those kids are growing up, they are taking those trauma into their life, and it's both of their fault. Because if simplest thing as food, like that's a problem, you shouldn't even be in the same house. Like when that relationship is done. And why has it been 6 years? Nobody's initiated a divorce. That's problem.
Well, for he wants to divorce, but there are
So
certain
let
factors
him
he trying
go.
to consider. No, but he's still considering certain factors before he go into the issue of the divorce. But he
Okay.
told me, he said when he returned from Africa, from Liberia, he's going to initiate that divorce. Whoever ruling out factor consent, he wouldn't care no longer because he got to move on his life, so he wouldn't care no longer. So that is the situation. But she doesn't want a relationship, but she doesn't want to initiate the divorce. And she there tormenting him in the house to the extent that she even brought one of her friends to be in the house, and the friend was not paying. The man said, why your friend be in the house for almost a year or he cannot pay, he can't pay rent. And she would like to get on with him and insulting. And the place he could park a car during this winter. The woman who would park her car, they said, tell your friend, you don't park my car there. If you don't want my friend in the house, then do it in there. All sorts of things. But it's a deeper thing that beyond my own understanding. So I always just told him, man, just keep your cool and see how best you can get out of this situation.
I don't know. Yeah, that's really messy though. He that's 6 years of his life he will never ever get back. I pray that he figure it out, because he doesn't have long time left for life, and every minute and second matters. I don't think anybody should even. I don't. I'm a risk taker, to a certain degree, but I can't take that risk living in the same house with someone with that type of mentality. Food is just food. Like that's the part where it's like, did she ever love him? Like, did they? I don't know. I don't want to dwell on that. Let's go to the next one. Welcome back, Anna. You guys, I have one of my very good friends joining the show tonight. Welcome to the show, Richard.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So we've already discussed about 2 points of what, for the sake of time, why most people would decide to stay in a roommate style type of relationship when the relationship is over. That's what we're discussing tonight. We're diving a little bit deeper into that. Last week we covered, just the surface of it, and we want to see, like, just be open minded. There are people doing it, working for them. And maybe somebody's on the verge of doing it and they're trying to figure out, well, what am I going to benefit from it? And how does this hurt me? So we just want to look at that and then put this topic to bed for a little bit. The next one, number three, pros, is a companionship and familiar. You guys, is a tongue twister. Familiar, to be familiarized with a person. Let me just say it like that. Even in tough season, the presence of a spouse words of loneliness. So, do you think that all feelings of, well, I have, like, some people who don't have a support system, right? And that person, let's look at it from a very nice cordial standpoint where people feels like, they get that support from that partner. Do you think that will give them some sense of familiarity with their partner, and they have that support system? That could be some of the pros that people decide to do this type of, join this type of partnership when the marriage is over. um Let me see who would like to, Anna, let's hear from you. Anna, are you in a position to talk? We haven't heard from you.
Sorry, guys. I'm just. It's so hard to put these kids to bed. You
It's
guys, if
okay.
you don't listen, if you don't, you're supposed to be quiet. If you guys stop talking,
It's okay, Anna. Let's hear
sorry.
from Richard. Okay, go ahead. Oh, Anna mute herself. Richard, I know you're just joining the show, just to kind of like
Okay,
recap. All right, go
I'm
ahead,
back.
Anna.
I'm
Mhm.
back. Sorry. So,
All right.
you guys were just asking about like what we think for people that people's living situations after uh, on failed relationships.
Yeah, so this is, we're looking at the pros and cons. We've already covered two of the pros. Now I'm on the third one where it's a companionship and just familiarity with the partner that you've been with. Is that in tough, like, I give an example of, the issue where what is it called? So some people don't have that family support system.
Mm-hmm.
Some people don't have the luxury of reaching out to anyone to give them advice. And this person has been there in thick and thin, but they just feel like romantically they don't want to be in that relationship and it's not serving them anymore. But living under the same roof give them that sense of, like, companionship. They can talk to them, and that's okay, to help them out. Would that be a good reason? Would that be a good reason for somebody to do that? What do you think?
Yeah. So, I think that you know it's I won't say it's a good reason, it's an advantage, but I don't think that's a reason, that's a valid reason for someone to stay in a relation in a house with somebody that they didn't get along while they were dating. However,
Married, married.
yeah, or while they were married, sorry.
Yeah.
So what I would what an advantage to me that I see that people do that is if they're trying to save money while they're getting themselves, ready to move on their own. Another reason would be, maybe if, let's say, for example, how for us Africans, like, how when you stay, you leave a country and you don't know anybody, that familiarity, right?
Right. That's what we're
Trying
talking
to tell
about.
yourself that that even though you're staying with this person, you know where your goal, where your mind should be. Like, you're not going to be sitting there getting one night stands with him. Just know that, okay, we're just staying as roommates. Like, learning how to separate those emotions, you know, because at the end of the day, that person will never take you seriously if you're still hitting it with them and doing those types of things with them. And I think that when people live with their exes or people that they were married with, uh, when they no longer have relationships, they need to set up clear boundaries where that other person knows that it is over. We're not, there's no wonky panky or any type thing. But
I like that.
at the
Mhm.
same time, because you guys know each other, you guys are there to be each other's keeper, like, but it shouldn't be a long-term thing. I
Right.
don't know if that makes sense. So when you're living there, you know that you have a goal that you're trying to achieve. Maybe you guys had a lease together. You guys are trying to stay on to the end of your lease, but I wouldn't recommend it for people that want to do it long term, because at the end of the day, it shows that you guys still kind of have feelings for each other, and it could be toxic. But for certain relationships, it also helps because there are people that will live like that and they end up realizing that they miss their spouses or they like their spouses again, and then they want to work it out. So it can be a give and take. It can be advantageous and it can also be at a disadvantage, because it can cause a lot of jealousy and cause people to kill each other because they're seeing the other person moving on and they're not happy about it.
Right.
That's my opinion.
Thank
Hi,
you. Let's hear
Jimmy.
from
It's
you.
nice to see you again.
Hi, Anna.
He's
Hi.
acting big and bad tonight with
He
his.
looks good.
Oh,
I like your haircut.
let's
Thank
hear
you.
from Richard. Richard, what do you think? Jimmy, don't be laughing so hard at that.
I know you like to see
Well,
me cry.
for me, to be honest, I don't see it as a good thing to still stick around. If you know it didn't work out with you and the guy, move on, because staying in the same house it's honestly going to cause confusion. And I believe in, if you're staying in the same house with the person, then that means you expect that something is going to spark between them. That's
Mhm.
just the straight up truth. Because whether you like it or not, you say no hanky panky or sleeping with one another. Well, unfortunately, I'm sorry, but if you guys are under the same roof, it's bound to happen. If unless you guys just kept it as friends, but as long as you've been married before and then you're still staying in the same house together, or I can say if there's kids involved, then okay, that's an understandable statement for you to still remain in the same house to try and give that bonding moment for the sake of the kids. But other than that, no, go your separate ways, find another place. The other guy can pretty much go find another roommate to take over that room if it's about the lease matter. But
That's
don't stick to being in the
cute.
same. It's just the honest truth, because that's just going to be a waste and it's going to create problems. And it's definitely because if the guy decides now that he wants to bring somebody else to come, the girl is not going to like it. And I'm speaking from experience because I know fully well that I had somebody else that was in my house. Well, unfortunately, girlfriend came. She didn't like seeing the other people that were there. It's just the way life is, because she's not going to feel comfortable. She's going to feel like she's competing against somebody else. So no female wants to have that competition. And no dude wants to come to that house and see that there's another dude in there. It's going to be a messy situation. So just separate yourselves and move on. It's better that way. Just keep it separate. You can be friends on the outside, but no, not under the same roof. I'm sorry.
I agree with you. I think if you really want to do it for the sake of the children, live closer around each other, like maybe 2 to 3 miles from each other. That you can take the kids to you. That is not anytime you want to see your kids, if you can create that. But I absolutely agree with you. I think that familiarity and just being companionship, that's like you trying to go to counseling for your relationship to work out. So I agree. Let's hear from Jimmy.
You see, the issue of companionship doesn't exist after divorce,
Hmm.
because that's one of the first um that's one of the first pillows that breaks before going to divorce. And Staying together is a recipe for disaster. Because just like Roland said, and I think I said that last week, that um, women don't like to share certain space with another woman. One of those spaces is the kitchen, the living room, the bathroom. You know, some women like to meet things the way they left it. I didn't say you know.
I'm just saying that's me.
You see,
Guilty.
so
I'm guilty.
companionship is the first thing that gets broken in a relationship before every other things follow. Okay, because companionship is that closeness, that that friendship, okay, that understanding, that um sharing, sharing of of feelings and emotions. That's companionship. And when that is broken, then every other, bad things start to come in. Confusion, you know, and you can name the rest. So, you know, like I said before, and I'll continue to say, once you're reached to that point that you both made a decision to end the relationship, every other thing that would pull you all together, or will make you all to continue to be together, you make sure you're set to it and move out and move on. Because another man will not like to come to visit his woman and meet her ex in the house. Okay. And even that ex that is in the house, if that other man foster the courage to come in, and let's say you're having your do to do, and some people can be really loud with us, and I am on the other side and I'm getting all that noise. It's traumatizing, you know. Let's forget about the kids being in the picture, but just the two of you agreeing to be in the same space, and like you having an open relationship where everybody is allowed to do whatever they want to do. That's there will be a lot of confusion, and sometimes couple go on separation because they want to see if somebody made a mistake before, and they will realize their mistake, and make a change, and then they can come back together. But once you go to the extent of divorce, the issue of roommate is not advisable.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that. That was really powerful. I think everybody's kind of on the same page. Not afraid of even going to the the cons because it looks like everybody's already covering the cons. Andrew, you keep coming in, and I'll let you say your piece on this one real quick, guys. Let's
No,
watch out for
what?
the
Yeah,
time.
what happened? I'm using my phone. So when I make mistake, I test something, I can get lost on the screen.
And
No, most of the time I'm using my computer. So for now, I'm using my phone.
yeah.
I'm taking Kimista photocopy instead.
All right, so let's hear from you really quick. Let's watch out for the time, guys. It's about 10:17 right now. But
So
yeah, do
so
you think familiarity is a guru for somebody to stay in that teammate or whatever roommate style? that
Come
is.
again. Come again. I didn't get the question clear.
Do you think companionship and familiarity is a good reason for somebody to stay? Like, I don't have a support system, so he's always
Look,
been there for me, so I should stay.
look. I want to be clear with the whole issue,
Hmm.
and that's my personal view on it. Look, when chicken white is white, when they say chicken white is white in our
Hmm.
local parlance, that means when someone is done with something, they are done with it. So no matter what kind of companionship, what kind of things you in, so because of that, now there's a word, I think they say you cannot allow sympathy exceed your interest.
Right.
The first thing in a relationship, your interest should be first or priority. You see, they say or self-preservation is the first law of nature.
Mm.
You protect yourself first than any other person. People will sing the song, among my military, I love myself the best. You my sister of but I don't love people I love myself. Do I? No, I won't.
Right.
So in that situation, you're not going to mark companionship and you die. And it is reason why people are suffering from depression. People die in the home because there are things they don't want to let go. And I want to listen to make close on the what TDG said. He said there are some things in this thing in your life that's not meant for you. They were not meant to be there for you. They were not meant to be there. They were not meant to happen. There's things you don't have to hold on to. Let them go. For me, I can't be into it because of companionship. I will let it go. Let it go, and I free my chest, and I can start anew. I know starting anew it can be frustrating, but free your
Right.
chest and go on. That's my take on that matter.
Right. Thank you for that. You guys all strike a really good point, which is something that I'm just thinking about it. I would never. Well, they said never say never, but that's something that I wouldn't even encourage anybody to do because I feel like you just create more damaged people. So let's go to the last point where it says opportunity for growth. So some may say like by us doing this, maybe this would create a room for us to, like decide to make our marriage work, which I feel like then you shouldn't come to this point to say like let's separate but just be roommate. I want to see somebody else. I don't want a relationship. And like Jimmy puts it, just say you want an open relationship. You want a time where you're not gonna be in the relationship and you're gonna go out there and see if you find something. And if you do, you move on. If you don't, then you're stay. I feel like that's more of a communication than somebody saying, "Yeah, let's just stay here. I'm done." But some people believe that marriage provides space for healing and rekindling love. So by just being in the same space, maybe, but I feel like the person that's initiating it is officially out, and the person that's accepting this is probably, saying, right, well, maybe by me saying yes, we can be here, I can see how I can win her back. And I feel like if that individual feel that way, that's something that need to be discussed. And that's something that you should come up with a different way how to go about it instead of that. So what do you guys think? Let's try to keep our answer a little bit short, please. Time. Who wants to go? Anybody can jump in if you want to expand on that.
Yeah, I think Roland should go.
Richard, what do you think? Some people say, well, the opportunity for growth, like maybe while we're under here, I know you're strongly like, no, go your separate way. Maybe the person that initiating to be a roommate feels like, well, while we're here, maybe, it's saving me money, but the person that's accepting it on the receiving end of this initiation is saying, well, maybe eventually they'll figure out I can try to work this out and see how we can make this relationship work. Do you think it's fair to that person that just have to accept that when the person that's initiating is completely done and hoping that the marriage will work?
Well, it takes two to tango. That's practically what I'm gonna say. So
True.
if one person is in it, the other one is not in it, well, I'm sorry, just move on. Save yourself the headache because that's a recipe for disaster. That relationship is not going to work because the other person is his mind is already complete. He or she's mind is already completely out of it. They're already on the next thing. Who is the next person I'm going to be in a relationship with? You'll be amazed that that person already has somebody else that they are talking to or dating. There had to have been something in that relationship that caused that person not to even want to be with you anymore, to say, I'm sorry, it's over. So don't expect that they're gonna come back. There is no magical potion that is gonna turn the situation around and make them feel completely okay. Mm-mm. Sorry, but it's not gonna work. If one person is in, the other one is out. Well, sorry. Bye bye, birdie. That's just it.
I agree. I agree. I agree. Anna, you were gone. You had a message. Somebody said you should show your face. Don't hide. Um, but yeah, anybody else, or should I move on to the cons of this? I just want to read a scripture where it says, First Corinthians 13:7 said, "Love bears all things, Richard. Love bears all things, believe all things, hope all things, endures all things." But you're saying, no, no, no. Richard said, no, we're not doing that. Keep it moving. You didn't love me today. You're definitely not loving me tomorrow, right?
Exactly.
Look, see,
Mhm. Yeah.
one thing we should understand is that
Mhm.
love, love has limit.
Mhm.
Love is not eternal, except for the agape love.
Mm.
Is the one that bears all things. Is the agape love is the one that doesn't keep record of the wrong. The agape love, you know, in First Corinthians 13, it's not talking about just mere love, not lip service kind of love. Oh, I love you in the middle of the bed. No, that's not the kind of love that Paul is talking about. Many persons or many people have died as a result of holding on because of love, or holding on because this person will change. No, some people when they make decision, they don't look back. And if you force it to be there, you are there on your own, and you are there digging your own grave and preparing your own funeral,
Hmm.
because you will continue to get hurt. You will continue to be traumatized. You will continue to face depression, stress, everything that will take you early to your grave. So that issue of love, if somebody say I'm done, and especially when they are showing it in their action, don't take it for granted. Pack your things and leave. Don't stay there hoping. They say patient dog eat the fattest bone. Yes, when no greedy dog around.
I've never heard the parables.
Yes, that's the only time. That's the only time patient dog will eat the fattest bone, when there's no greedy dog around.
That is true.
True.
You see? So once it is done, somebody tell you, I'm done. I don't care how hurtful it may seem, you know, uh, buckle yourself. move on. Ask God to give you strength. If you need to see a psych doctor, you know, um, to help you go through, see them, but don't
Right.
stay there and thinking that things are going to change. No, you'll be wasting your time and you'll be getting yourself slowly.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that. Andrew, I couldn't help but to think about the friend that you mentioned, right? Do you think that's that same situation was hoping, for the possibility that she might change her mind? So Andrew's busy right now. So Liberian
Andrew,
Eminent has said, I just want us to look at this really quickly, then we dive into the cons, which I feel like we kind of already covered, but just to kind of look at it and see if there's anything. So Liberian Eminent said, if you are to stay in a relationship, be aware flagging of energy, a creeping familiarity that will spoil the fantasy. A second seduction is required. Never let the other person take you for granted. Use absence, create pain and conflict to keep the seduced on the tenterhook. Ooh, sounds like the notebook. He says soulmate connection trace time when you meet someone with whom you have shared past life. There may be a sudden feeling of familiarity, an intuitive knowing of what to say and how they will react, a sense of deep trust and safety. I think this is when we were covering the other one. And then what did this man say? I think after both partners divorce, it will not be necessary for the both of them to live close. Um, yeah, because I think it's good when you live closer to each other for the sake of your children. Not far. You can't move out of state. How would you see your kids? You guys.
Look, even if you decide to say, sure, it's good to stay close, it's
Right.
still not really going to be that good because this is one thing that someone has always told me. Whoever you've slept with or been with, you leave a piece of yourself with them. So there is no guarantee that when you stay close, something is not going to happen. Even staying closer to each other is equivalent to you living under the same roof. It's just the way it is.
Richard!
So it doesn't make any sense to even be that close to each other. Just stay far away. If the kids need to see each other, put them on a plane and then fly them down to the next parents. That will probably be the best way to save yourself from it.
You're giving me a topic for next week. I have a topic on that because I don't agree with that, but anyway, that's another topic. I just, so thank you guys so much for the pros. Let's look at the cons. I think we kind of covered this already. The first one said emotional distance. You know, like we covered that already. It's not good for your mental, like you're being emotionally involved. So that'll be some of the reason. And then it said resentment build. I think I would like us to kind of talk on this one because I think this is huge. um, it said lack of affection and care fuels bitterness. And then Ephesians 4:31 said, let all bitterness and wrath and anger and clamor, whatever that word is, you guys, it's old English, um, and slander be put away from you, along with all malice. So do you think by somebody coming up with that for their relationship as a way to stay connected, do you think that build a really strong resentment even if you have children? And I
you
need to
you
hear from
you
my girls. Come on.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the question. I only came
Woo,
halfway.
you guys, I'm about to drop the
I
old
heard.
set almost fell.
Anna, please put your camera on.
Oh my God! I'm
Everybody
in
wants
bed.
to see you
I'm
tonight.
in
You're
bed with all
famous.
these kids.
stop
See
stop
how
fighting
they're
it. Stop
jumping?
fighting, man. Stop fighting for
See,
camera,
they're
man.
they're jumping
Why?
all
Yeah,
over
yeah, I'm
me.
from camera.
Brie, please turn on the light.
Oh, it's
I'm.
okay, Anna. It's okay. Y'all leave her alone. She with the
the
babies.
the babies are all over me. That's why.
It's okay. It's okay. Where's
I
So
don't.
have
Liberia
you
Eminent?
That's enough. Don't do that.
Where you at? Where are you in the comment section? You see that Jew?
Oh no.
You see the Jew? You are asking, you want to see her. You see the
I'm
Jew?
here. I'm here.
No, I was saying, do you think
but look, yeah,
by the individual
no,
coming up with, trying to be resentful and things like that, do you think this type of thing that people come up with to be roommates because the relationship not working due to the economy and all that, do you think that build a really strong resentment, even though they have children and you should be in a really peaceful mind or something like that? What do you think?
Rona. Let me.
Okay. Yeah. But, Anna, what do you think? You guys are all looking at me. All right.
Can you repeat?
Since
Can
we
you?
can talk about that one, let me go to the next one. So the third one that could happen.
No,
We can
Huh?
talk about resentment
Okay, go ahead. Because everybody's looking at me and I'm trying to look at the
because
time.
you're still asking the question. What I mean, what's the rush? Do you have like a specific time frame?
No, no, no. Well, I got some feedback from our followers that our show be so long that
so
sometimes they
long.
can't
Yeah.
keep up. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm trying for us to kind of like, try to speed this up, you know.
Okay. Okay. So ask the question one more time then. So.
So we cover the pros and we talked about that, and of course you guys all bashed it into the negative.
Mhm.
Um Now we're on the cons of why people make these decisions to stay in the same household or under the same roof when clearly the relationship is over and is ending in divorce, right?
Mhm.
Um, the first one is emotional distance. That's what that creates for you. And then the
Mhm.
second one, but I feel like we already discussed that while we were discussing the pros, so I don't want to waste time on it.
Yeah, we
Um,
did. Mhm.
yeah, so I want us to look at resentment builds, right?
Mhm.
The lack of affection and care feels bitterness. Like, do you believe? I think, yeah, I agree with
I don't.
that.
I don't think that people resent people when they've decided to live together after they don't want to be together. Though, I think the
And there's
resentment,
no
the
affection.
resent. I
There's
think
no affection at all.
I think the resentment is from the when they're in a relationship where they're
Mm.
resentful of each other. When they've decided that okay, we're no longer together, that resentment is only there if one person is trying to leave and the other person wants the other person to stay. But if it's mutual, I don't think
Mhm.
there's really any resentment unless there's a third party involved. But
I don't really think there's ever a mutual. Sorry.
yeah, so I mean, there are people that genuinely realize that they don't want they're not compatible after a while and they go their separate ways. But the probability of one person wanting the other to leave is usually really high. Where one person doesn't want to get out of the relationship, they want to keep making efforts to try to work it out. But when it comes to resentment, I think that the resentment only happens in the phase where they're still like in a relationship and having conflict. Resentment is usually really hard to see in people that are cohabiting just for the sake of we're leaving here to we're roommates kind of situation. It's difficult to see that resentment. The resentment usually happens when they're still officially we're together, even though we're not getting along. Does that make sense, Jimmy, guys?
I agree,
The,
but I disagree, though.
I feel like the
Okay.
resentment could also still be there even when they have, because don't forget, a lot of times when people get married, right, they end up buying a house together. You buy a
Right.
house together means two people's names are on that house. One person is not going to want to leave for the other one because, like in Oklahoma here, if you buy a house together, well, if you're divorcing, it goes 50-50. This person doesn't want to leave because the interest rate is low. The other one doesn't want to leave because now she has access. So at the end of the day, whether you like it or not, you guys are going to be resenting each other, whether you are good or not good. Even if you agree that, sure, we're just going to live in this house and be by ourselves, and this person
And,
is going to be that one is going to be that one. We will understand each other. In African
and,
community, it doesn't happen. If it's an
I
American
agree.
community, I'll say, okay, American people can understand each other and live together and nothing will happen and everything will be fine. They'll just go back to normal. But we as Africans, I haven't seen that one happen. I'm
and,
sorry,
and,
I
and,
just
and,
haven't.
and, and, and to add on what Richie just said, a almost similar example I gave concerning my friend.
Right.
And this is a serious situation that's ongoing on between the both of them. And so Richard did a very brilliant point. In our African community, well, it's not it's not an easy task to undertake. The resentment will always be there. Some way, somehow, it will be there. Sometimes you will see the person you just don't want to see the person that day. And then when you look in the person in the eyes, you say, "Look, I don't want to see the person." When you try to retrospect on what happened when the day you met, the day things started breaking apart, those good old days you started thinking about it, and you see the person who is no longer happening, you say, "Look, to hell, I don't want to see this person." When you see them alone, said your butt get bored. And like I said, and I will continue to say, this alone will make me to walk away soon. I personally, I will not stay into that. I will not stay into that. But the resentment, it will continue to be there. Some brave will say, "Lobi, I don't care." But if you see somebody, especially when you knew that love, that person you had love for before, and like the person is not showing you any face and all that kind of stuff, I'll tell you what, it will always be there, it will always be there. And like me, for me to avoid it, before even the word resentment come in, let me go far off. You can resent me from far off. Yeah.
Right. So
You
I
know,
just want to add, so
um,
really, go ahead, Jimmy. Then I will add what I wanted to add really quickly.
the issue of resentment happen both how to call it during and post relationship, depending on the factors that are at stake. For example, the issue the issue of children can even cause a greater resentment,
Mm.
especially when one parent claims total control of the kids, denying the other person of
Access.
access to the kids.
Hmm.
They even that kind of resentment even go a long way and may affect the children as well, because one parent is setting the children against the other one, and the children who are there, if they love the dad, they're trying to fight back. They want to be with the dad, so that also create an in-house resentment between the kids and the mother, especially when they are of age like 13, 14, 15. Kids know exactly what they want at during those ages. Another issue of resentment, lasting resentment, is the issue of property, where two of you are fighting. One want, you know, both of you want to uh, 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 retain the house, while trying to kick the other person away. And most of the time, the women, will be like, okay, I am, I am keeping the children, so I will keep the house. And mind you, after that, child support comes in.
Hmm.
You,
The big
Yep.
elephant, right?
you kick the man out of the house, and then you put child support on him. You know, um, that's something that goes a long way and may even cause, it have cost some people their lives.
Mm.
It has
That is
cost
true.
some people. It has cost some people their lives. So the issue of resentment is something that I don't pray. that anybody, in a relationship will even reach to that stage. It's a very dangerous, place to be, even after divorce or doing separation, and which is why um being a roommate is not advisable, because one person may wake up one morning, and somebody is dead, whether or not they are the one, but they will be the first, um, you know, the how to call it. I don't know how to call it. I just forgot. They will be the first suspect because they have um they
Ulterior
have a
motive.
they have a motive. Yes, you know. So in order to get out of that, to get yourself out of all of that, look, just like Brother Richie said, if you are in New Jersey, I am probably going to Las Vegas, or somewhere in Mexico, and try to rebuild my life. Try to stay very, very far from you, and just want to maintain communication with the kids if we have, if possible. I can fly the kids, out during vacation, come out, spend time with me, and yeah, I record and go back. But stay very far from the trouble.
You guys are
That's
so harsh.
Sorry,
I
it's just
wanna.
because of reality. Like me, I've worked in a
I
jail. So as
know.
a result, I've seen this literally happen. And I asked them, why did you do it? It's
Really?
just
Right.
the way it
You
is. To
you
them,
seen you
they
seen
feel
it?
like they have to.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I agree with you guys to a certain degrees, but I feel like the whole moving away far, far, I think you guys are speaking on like special type of
Extreme
relationship that
cases.
are like toxic
I
and just
think they're talking more on like extreme cases because truly,
right,
when I
right.
was now that you guys talked about resentment and
Very good. When
expatiated,
resentment sets in,
It's going to
when
be extreme.
resentment, yeah, when resentment kicks in, it's
Uh-huh.
a recipe for crime.
True. That's an
You
extreme
see?
case though, right?
Yeah,
Even
and
small case will go extreme. It doesn't
yeah,
matter. It will turn out to be extreme whether you like it or
My
not.
goodness, Richard, you're not giving any room here.
Sorry,
no,
it's
I
just
mean,
reality. I've worked in a jail and I've seen it physically happen. So, and
Okay.
I've spoken to those inmates and they've literally said it.
Hmm.
It's just the way it is because at that point in time, their mental health has gone astray. So now they are completely in a whole different world that they just they don't think in reality anymore. They've
I
changed to
agree.
become something else and now it's become extremely out of control. So,
I
look,
agree.
let me say this, Fee.
Hmm.
When you decide to stay together in the same space because of economic reason and all of that, if you buy a new car,
Hmm.
if you buy a new car and I am there struggling,
Hmm.
do you know how that makes me to feel? Especially
No.
when I should be enjoying that with you, or you should be, enjoying that with me. Do you
that's
know?
your problem.
I know, and
jealousy.
Or life get better
and
for you,
and
like
and
most. Sorry, I don't mean to cut him, right, but like most men, right, they will reach their financial stride between like 45 and up, right? And let's say you and that partner grew up together and now they didn't get to enjoy that. I see where that comes in. And now you're like maybe in your mid 50 now, so like you're financially free, and now you
right.
got a nice little young lady on your arm, and
Hmm.
and you're treating her the way you've never even treated her. So
You
yeah,
see? You see,
Now you're
and
starting to
that's
see how the resentment enters.
yes. You
It's
see, and,
like what? I struggle for that.
yeah, yeah. And that's where and that's why some people can go to the extreme. If I can't
Right.
enjoy this, nobody else will.
Exactly.
So it's just it's a dangerous game. Don't play it, guys. Don't play that game. No, I mean I'm laughing, but all like I like on my spare time, like when I'm not really
Uh,
a
uh, uh,
movie
uh, uh,
person,
uh,
but
uh,
when I watch
th- th-
documentary, I like to watch the ID,
see,
like investigatory stuff, and I see it a lot. I see it
see,
a lot.
see.
Hmm.
Uh, there was a story on Facebook this morning. I woke up to from Liberia, and
Hmm.
the story goes that this young girl, have sacrificed everything to help this guy go to, university. And then he graduated from university. He got a job, started working, and abandoned the girlfriend who have strived with him throughout his struggle days. She begged him, cried blood and nothing, and she felt hopeless. And she went, and I think the story says she jumped from the Simple Bridge into the Simple River. And at the time the writer, wrote the story, that rescue team was still looking to find her, but it was to no avail. You
Hmm.
see, so people are people get broken for several reasons best known to them. Okay,
Right.
so she just she decided to take her own
All
life.
right. Yeah. Because it
Okay,
was too much to really handle.
right. She decided to take her own life. On the other hand, somebody else would say, you know, if you can be with me, you won't be with nobody else.
Hmm.
You see?
I
And
guess just leave that guilt with him for the rest of his life then. That's an
you see,
emotional trauma for him too, because then now he feels like
Not
he feels like
really. It's not. Look, it's not going to
you
affect
don't think
him because at
so?
the end of the day, he's just going to move on with his life. Because at the end, just as it sounds now, he already moved on. The guy already went, got his
yeah,
degree, got everything. He's enjoying his life. He doesn't care about her. But
he
now
doesn't
she's
care about
emotionally destroyed.
right.
Yeah.
You see? And that's why she couldn't live. She couldn't live to see that
Hmm.
she suffer with she suffer, behind this guy, and the time for both of them to enjoy, then he dumped her. Okay, and, she went to the extreme on herself. But other people will go to the extreme on the other person. You see, and we all know when people become desperate,
Yeah.
when people get, I call it desperate about certain things, what they can do. So this whole thing about roommating after a breakup or after divorce is a recipe for disaster. I, you know, I,
I
I, I,
agree.
I continue to say that.
So even if the modern society is trying to make it a trend and make it, like it's okay, we can still live and be fine. You're saying no, absolutely not.
Yeah, absolutely
It,
not. If it's the olden
it's
days, I'll
only
say okay, that's understandable. Not right now. Not in this generation. Sorry.
And then you could just be a polygamy, right? Just get multiple women if it's coming from the men.
it's only it's only peaceful when both of you are on the same level.
True, true.
And that's why it is common, among the typical white people, because most of them are educated. Each of them have their own thing running and stuff like that. So they
They
just
killed you, Jimmy. I don't mean to cut you out, but it may seem typical, but from the documentaries and things that I watch, they end up killing the other partner. Like it doesn't
yes,
last. They'll say, yeah,
you see,
because the other person is hoping that, one day you will change your mind because you don't want the
right.
relationship. But eventually the person said, well, I find somebody and I don't want to live here anymore. We're moving out. And then it becomes the issue where somebody's life is gone.
You
I
see,
watched a documentary. I mean, it was so, oh my God, that was, I had to turn it off. I mean, the guy literally decapitated like the lady. And it was like such a anger in him because he's like, I gave you everything and now you want to find somebody else because you think I'm not better than that person. So
you see,
it seems okay in, our counterparts in their world from the outside. But when you really look in depth, there's a lot of homicide that goes on with it. So that's why I really wanted us to have this conversation because it's really becoming a trend, and a lot of people think it's okay to get into it, and then later on find out it's not. Can This is why I feel like there's a lot of people with trauma, like these relationship issues and trauma that they never heals from. But right out of the next relationship, they're in another one without really truly figuring out what did I do to be, to have this relationship and that didn't work. But
It's
yeah,
just
yeah,
great
because
stuff.
everybody's looking for companionship. It's just
Right.
a thing that because I am a victim of that. Before, I used to take it as I have to be with somebody because that's the
Hmm.
only way I become complete. That was the
Mm,
mindset that I had, that if I don't have a female as being next to me, so I was literally going from, if I break up with this person within a week, I've jumped into another relationship because I felt like that
Richard,
was
college
the thing
life.
that I needed to do. Yeah, so that's the reason why now my mindset has now come to a point where it is not the right thing to do. You gotta settle down. You gotta try to go seek counseling. Get that.
Yeah,
Mental health is a thing. But the funny
it
part
is.
is, we Africans, we don't believe in mental health. If you tell your parents that you are having mental crisis, they're gonna pretty much curse you and tell you, Olomaje, over my dead body, it will never
Yeah.
happen. This and that. It's a big thing.
Or
Mental
they
health has
tell you
become
because you're not working
magnificent.
enough. You're not working enough.
Exactly. So that's the issue, that people need to, we
yeah.
really need to get out of that mentality and come back to normal, to know that really mental health is a big thing. And when you're done with a relationship, get some counseling, take some time to get yourself back into normal, get your mindset right. So that way you don't take whatever madness or things that happened with your previous relationship and go and dump it on somebody that might truly love you and want to help you. So you gotta take
Absolutely.
that time, take that, even if it's 6 months, use that time to get your mind right.
Thank you so
That's
much,
it.
Richard, for that. Jimmy, right before you come in, I hate to say the big elephant in the room, right? In our community, I'm not really too much on Facebook drama and stuff like that, but I see things here and there that pops up. And the most recent one that I can think about is the Richard and Cece, like their love story. And it's like you're watching it unfold, and it's just create this really toxic environment, and it makes the entire community just look different. Like everybody looks at it and just be like, wow, they're Africans. That's what they do. But in reality, those are wounds that was never healed. And you can clearly see that resentment there because when you look at, those videos that are leaked online and being the partner looking at it, of course, you're going to be all out there and doing all these other extra things and say, well, this is how you treated me, and so I'm gonna lash out and do the X, Y, and Z. But absolutely, absolutely, Richard, and this is why I really feel like this podcast we're having, there's not a lot of drama going on. A lot of people don't really come on it, but this is really reaching to certain people, and they reach out to me all the time and say, you keep having these conversations because this is something that's really happening in our community, and you're sharing light on it because you see people there they're still legally married for 10 to 15 years, and then that person passed and they're looking for the legal partner to come and make the decision, but they never did it because, oh, for the sake of, the children. And that's why I really wanted us to have this discussion.
see,
Hmm.
Richard
Uh,
said
uh,
something.
Quickly, Jimmy, before
Hmm.
you go, let me just, because I'm trying to sum up and
Okay.
go on the side. Let me just give my closing comment on this thing quickly, and then
Hmm.
we can come in. Maybe I will be monitoring, but I don't want to give my closing comment because I will not be here. Look, but quickly, let me first, in the for first of all, thank Richard for joining us tonight, and I mean, I follow his deliberation. I think he could be a good add-on to us, so we can be able to discuss. I hope when you have the time, so he could join
That
us in the
guy is
future,
busy.
so we can do it. So thank you for joining us, Richard. I appreciate you so much. All right, Jimmy, I appreciate you. Anna, I appreciate you. You don't be jealous of him. But
Don't appreciate me,
let's be
man.
frank. Let's be frank of these issues, right? Look, and I understand where Richard is coming from, and Jimmy and myself, we are men. For us, we men, some of us we cannot hold things for long, and we cannot stand some things. I'm speaking of my own self. I wouldn't do anything as such. In fact, today Anna was saying that, well, it will be good, at least it will not be good to stay in a home. You at least you could give a short period of time because if you want to save money. For me, the highest is 1 month, and not even that 1 month, I might not even be sleeping in the house. I
One
must
night
avoid
for
you. I
me.
must avoid you completely
Hmm.
because these things lead to emotional trauma, mental health, like Richard would say. And then if you're not strong enough, you will go mentally ill, and at the end of the day, they put you in some like mental home, and you cannot easily recover. So if you know you're somebody of such who cannot stand those kind of a thing, the only way, when you keep a distance, when distance heals easily as compared to close proximity, and then you still see the same person in your life. So you rather you go somewhere far that you cannot even see the person. But you see the person, it brings a lot of tension in you, and it will break you down. At the end of the day, you will lose your life some way, somehow. So I want to close on that note. I might be following. If not, I will join the show again on tomorrow for another edition. Thank you all, and God bless you all for joining tonight.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you coming on tonight.
Oh
All
yeah.
right,
Jim,
Jimmy.
I want,
Jimmy
yeah, the
had
reason why I
something to
came here, I
say.
want to disprove Jimmy.
You did it.
Jimmy
You did a
Jimmy
good
has
job.
something to say, and I really wanted to hear what Jimmy had to
Yeah,
say.
go ahead, Jimmy. Anna is rooting for you here. Look at him smiling there.
You want me to cry?
You should
Okay,
cry here.
Richard pointed something out about, you know, um in the uh in Africa, people don't consider mental health. And that is true. Most of the time they consider, mental health as demonic issues,
Mhm.
Witchcraft.
Yes. Thank
and
you.
they try to treat it as such. And mental health cannot be healed by, voodoo or whatsoever. With no disrespect to our African tradition and their their medications and all of that. But mental health require counseling. Not even the pill that they give is a cue to it. The pill is only there to make the nerve to relax. Okay. But if the medication wears out, the symptom continues. So The only cure for mental health is um,
Therapy.
therapy,
Therapy.
therapy, and and prayer. Get yourself, into prayer. Get yourself closer to God. You know, and read the Bible. The Bible is one of the greatest therapies for mental health. And because our people treated them as witchcraft, you know, people die of it when they could actually recover from it. So I'd call it, imagine a man marrying three wives. Oh, and he's not rich. He's poor. He's just a farmer, but he have three wives, and all three wives bringing their problems to him, one after the other, one after the other. At the end of the day, he suffocates himself because he cannot handle the tension.
Who sent him there?
Well, his desire.
Well,
So I only bringing that to say, the reason men die, many men are dying, quicker and easily, is because of a lot of it will be, lack of attention to their mental health.
mm,
Because you come down with high blood pressure, and when it is not treated properly, you die. You come down with heart attack, when you are not happy, you are not pleased in the environment you find yourself, and all of that. And relationship has cost many people their lives. Many people, because they got in the wrong place, they didn't, realize it and get out of it the soonest possible time. They stay there thinking that things will get better. And today they are no more. So the issue of roommating, or how do you call it, companion, what's the other word again? Familiarity,
resentment,
resentment.
loss of identity, like risk,
I
the
would say
risk of temptations, all of
identity
that.
crisis,
Yeah.
you know, all contribute to life's losing at an earlier stage. And resentment, when it cannot be controlled, leads to crime. So even in a regular friendship, let us not, be resentful, because one of the, things that cause resentment in friendship is jealousy. You see,
Yeah.
so
Time,
there are a
time,
lot of
time.
there are a lot of things that we can continue to talk. We're not move from here today.
Right.
So let's try to, call it a day or evening, and let's think about what to talk about tomorrow.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Jimmy, for that. I tried to kind of like control because I thought I knew this was gonna run into the time for a little bit. So we kind of almost like went through all the comment section. But let's just try to get everybody closing statement. We cover quite a lot of these the
And
pros and cons, and we automatically got um the cons from the pros of why people might do this, but Let's hear from you guys. Let's closing. You guys, let's watch out for the time. We're already at the 2 hours mark. Just give your closing on the overall, just sum it all up. Oh man, River Spurs just getting here. I was looking forward he would get here early. How you doing? I hope you're okay. You missed out a little bit, but we're at the closing point of the show. And I just want to say thank you guys so much because as much, people might say, nobody's really caring about this, but it's really happening a lot in our community. People get married, for we all know, you bring somebody here from Africa, they come here, you get married to them, and then the person's find themselves in a situation where they got to stay with you because one, they're in a new land, they don't have no help, they don't they're not familiar with the culture, and they find themselves in a situation where it's like, hey, you can just stay here for now and I'll help you out until. And there's a lot of things. This topic will get into so many things, but I just want people to weigh out their options before sitting and coming up with this type of, plan or whatever this is. I don't think people should really get to that point. If you've made up your mind to be out of a relationship, you need to fully exit because, it, like everything we've discussed tonight, it's not going to be great for you in the end. So let's get our closing statement. And Anna's been super quiet tonight. Um, yeah, let's get everybody closing statements so we can wrap it up. Welcome, River Says Pro. Go ahead.
Anna, Anna, you want to go?
Mm-mm.
You don't
Okay,
want to give
rolling.
your closing statement? Tell
I'll
the
give it up to
audience.
rolling.
Most people
Okay,
watch this
so
after we post the show.
yeah, so
I'm
my
here. I'm here.
Uh-huh. Go
I'm
ahead,
my
with you guys.
Richard.
I'm
closing.
putting the kids to
First of
sleep,
all,
guys.
Richard, I just want to say thank you so much for finding time and hopping on. I know it was like impromptu. I'm like, hey, Richard, join me tonight. So thank you so much for coming on. Really, I appreciate your input. I think a lot of people are really going to enjoy watching this later on. Go ahead.
Yeah, so thank you very much for having me tonight.
Mhm.
I'm grateful for this opportunity. And to those out there that are probably thinking about this and trying to figure out if it's the right decision, I would say it's not the right decision. Don't, if you know, you should be able to read body language. Body language is a key thing. When you're with that person, if the thing is going south, exit. Don't let yourself get so caught up in it that now you feel like you're a prisoner and you cannot go anywhere. Figure there's always going to be alternatives. There's always counseling out there. There's always ways for you to just go get another apartment, be away from the situation, get yourself away from the situation. It will help your mental health. It will help you, and try not to rush into relationships whatsoever. Try to avoid, they always say, try to have that spirit of forgiveness for whatever happened, because at the end, a person doesn't just decide that they want to end a relationship without something happening. There had to
Right.
have been some issues that took place. And they always say, make sure that you go for marriage counseling before you even get married. Because I myself am a victim of that. I did not do marriage counseling, and at the end, my eyes shined. Try to ensure that
Richard,
you get into that
Richard.
marriage counseling thing, because it will help you greatly. So that way you will know if you are truly compatible before you go and enter. Because when
Mhm.
children come aboard, it changes the whole situation. The scenery changes, everything changes. So try to do your best. Try to get yourself, because your mental health is the first thing. If you can get that right, then everything else will fall into place. It will help you to be able to adjust to whatever situation and make a proper decision. Because if your mental health is not in the right place, you end up making a wrong decision that will end up affecting you. So that is my take.
Thank you so much for that, Richard. I like that part that you put in there. Really, 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 really appreciate you. Go ahead,
Oh, my
Jimmy.
time.
Yeah, we're gonna let you go first. And I
Where
and I said she ain't got nothing to say about this tonight.
where in conclusion,
Mhm.
life will always push us to a place where we become very uncomfortable with situations and sometimes want to make foolish decisions. Some of those foolish decisions is just one we are discussing tonight, accepting to live with someone because of financial reason or some other reason that's best known to you.
Financial
Uh,
reason, consistency with family, companionship, opportunity for growth, all of that, yeah, as we
yeah,
stated.
I stand on my statement from last week that once a relationship is done, seek every avenue and get away as quickly as possible. Get into a safe place, get into your personal space, and leave the other person in theirs. Sometimes life is not always going to be in your favor. And sometimes the earlier you move away, the better opportunity, you may get out there. So don't see it as an economic benefit to stay in the same apartment with the person when you both have already ended the contract. You will be traumatized and re traumatized. You will be stressed and re stressed. You will be depressed and consistently be depressed. For the sake of the children, for for their peace of mind, for your own peace of mind, get yourself into a safe and comfortable place where your mental health will be, prioritized, and also the freedom of your children, not seeing you and somebody fighting or making confusion all the time. You know, it will also be prioritize the freedom of your children. Their happiness will matter, should matter to you, and how you wish to see them grow will also be an important point of decision making. Again, I want to say thank you, Fee, for coming up with this topic. It has been you know, an opportunity to be a panelist here discussing tonight. And Mr. Richard, it's our first time meeting, but I want to say you are a man of wisdom, and we hope to always see you around as you know we give our little pieces of advice to our community. Thank you again, everyone. Thank you, Fee. Thank you to our listeners, even those that will watch after here. Say thank you. We love you and be safe out there.
Thank you. I'm laughing. They're coming for you, Jimmy. They're coming for you out there. But yeah, thank you so much, you guys. Thank you.
Oh my
All
God.
our
Stop
latecomers in
noise.
the comment
What is
section.
this?
And
What
you
is
want
it?
to give your closing now?
You're not showing anything. Stop.
Don't show anything else.
No.
We're on the world stage, please.
No, she's just trying to say hi. She wants the video to say hi.
I
She's
know.
supposed to be
Hi, baby
sleeping.
girl. So do
Tell
you
our
want to
baby
give
girl
your
say
closing? Are you okay?
Yes. Yeah, I can give my closing. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Um, yeah, so I want to thank the viewers for giving us this opportunity again to be here. Thank you, Richard, for joining us today.
That's a message for you, Anna.
Close with your face. It's dark. I just turned off the light. I'm trying to put the kids to bed. I've
Don't
been in
worry
their
about
room
him. He's trying to give you
all
a hard
night.
time.
How
Like
about
Brent
this?
Amen and Maya said, Hoya said,
Tell him
Oh,
to come.
Jimmy coming for you.
Tell him to come tomorrow to the show, and you will see my face. I'll promise I'll be on.
You need to be here, LIB. LIB, you
Yeah,
need to
so
be
be
here
here
tomorrow.
tomorrow and you see my face. I promise. Now, what
Okay.
I was trying to say was,
I don't
um,
believe I promise.
um, staying, Jimmy.
Go ahead, Anna. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Y'all are
You
killing
and
me
I are going to
today.
fight. Well, anyway, so I think that it's not advantageous to stay or advised for people to stay in the same house when they're no longer compatible. If you can, try to stay apart while you're working through your divorce process, just for the sake of peace, for the sake of your sanity. Another thing that I would say is, if you can, if you guys have custody issues, still try your best to think about the good times with you and that person for the sake of the kids. Try not to fight around the kids because, again, it's not healthy for the kids to hear all those misunderstandings, and also it can traumatize them. And it might cause them not to be able to value their own significant others when they eventually get married. So, my advice to everyone is, please, 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 if you and your spouse are no longer getting along, for the sake of your kids, try to stay apart. Try to be mutual when you guys see each other in the same space. And eventually, things are going to fall in place and you guys are going to heal in order to continue to take care of your children together. And the last but not least, that I would like to leave our viewers with, if you have any issues, you should really seek mental health counseling. If you have health insurance, there are mental health crisis hotlines for people that need assistance, people that may be suicidal. If you need advice on where to go, you need resources, you can reach out to Felicia, ask suggestions on what to do. There's Google too. Google is actually your best friend. Let me not say Felicia because Felicia's not a counselor, but
Right.
you can Google like free mental health services. If you're a lady, they have assistance for people. Also, if you have relationships where they're hitting you and stuff, please exit from that type of a relationship. It's not safe. So with that being said, thank you guys so much for viewing, and continue to take care of yourself, because if you're not healthy, whether mentally, physically, or emotionally, you cannot care for other people, including your children. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Anna. Thank you guys. Thanks everybody who tuned in tonight. Thank you, Jimmy. I really, really I don't know. I'm really happy about this segment of the show because it really got me thinking about a whole lot of things and other people that I have encountered as well. And you know, um, I've helped people navigate this type. Well, disclaimer: I'm not a marriage counselor and not in any shape or way any type of counselor. These topics we come up with them just to make sure that we're all sharing light on real life situation that people are actually faced with. There's a lot of things on the internet that you could be watching or paying attention to, but we just feel like this would be helpful for our community for us to have these type of discussion that is not very a lot of people don't want to talk about it because sometimes, especially in our community, it's a shame. Some people don't want people to know their business and everybody is out there and being private. But I just want to say Thank you to each and every one of you guys for sharing your ideas with anybody who's going through this. The only thing that I would like to say before you even if your partner came to you with this and want to make this decision, or if it's you thinking about it because one, you're not financially stable and you're thinking where to start, you need to every if you live in the US, there's always resources. You need to check your health department area because they can help you if you just have questions about resources out there that can assist you. And I know a lot of men don't like to do this because sometimes, and it's not always women are on the shorter end of the stick. Sometimes men are on the shorter end of the stick because they don't make a lot of income. Sometimes, majority of the time, is women. There's always help, but I'm trying to encourage everybody to really think through the process before you even decide if that is your ultimate. Well, if you're in the US, that cannot be your last option because there's a whole lot of services around. And like Anna stated, if you go on Google and just typing anything, 9 times out of 10, there's a lot of people who going through the same thing who have typed in those questions. And you'll be surprised how many information will come out to you. And if you're up with the new system with AI, just type in AI, what are some services around my area to find a home or a place to live? It might be temporary. There's a lot of organization and program in place in your community that you can go to seek out help instead of you actually being in this space where you didn't feel comfortable or where you don't feel yourself. And because you're at your last end and you're like, well, this is the person that was the breadwinner and I can't afford in this economy to survive. So I want to make this decision. If you absolutely feel like this is something that you and your partner can do, hey, do that. I'm not telling you what to do, but I'm just encouraging you to actually put some effort, check out the resources that are in your area before you do this because like my colleague said, a lot of these things do not end well. And it's true. A lot of people are dying from stress, from everything that's going on in the world. The last thing you want to do is live in a place that was considered your safe place, your safe space. I mean, now is a place where you're like, well, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I can go this way. I don't know what I can do. I think and I agree. Everything everybody said tonight really resonated well with me. I don't think it's a great idea to, follow this new trend of, yeah, we'll live in the same space. It might be okay in a moment, but it's not okay. Yeah, thank you so much. So I just want to encourage everybody to just remember, put yourself first. Like Anna said, if you cannot take care of yourself, you cannot take care of anyone. And for the safety, remember you're growing children for the future. And you don't want to create another damaged child or person or individual in the world. And I hate to use that word, but it's the truth. A lot of people are damaged from these type of situation. And you might and I feel like in our community we like to use one case as win it all. Like somebody said, well, this other person did it and it worked. Well, those are special cases. You can't say majority of the time it worked. So tonight, I just want to say this is the end of this segment, and if we revisit it, it's not going to be the same thing. But I just want you to take your time, um, go through your emotions, sort it out, whatever the issue is that you're deciding or that partner is deciding not to be with you, like everybody else I've shared, don't stay there because it doesn't end well emotionally in every aspect of your life. I don't think it's a great idea. And but if you choose to do that, you're grown. You can go ahead and do it, but always seek out sources that are in your community and get help anywhere that you can. And if you think you want to reach out to me, like Anna, Anna put me out there, you can DM me. I can check out some links and stuff and share with you. Or if you're just lost, if you're just coming into the country, like just try to do your research, check around. There's always someone who's going to help you. And like Jamie said, our pastor on here, always pray. Prayer always heals all wounds and is very powerful. So, with that being said, thank you guys so much for your time. I appreciate you guys. in our comment section. River says, "Pro, you keep me lit." Liberian Eminent, be here tomorrow. Like he said, good night, y'all go eat chicken. I don't know what that means. And then River says, Pro, we will save that question for tomorrow. When we're on here, we will definitely address that question because I think it's very, very important on the topic that I'm going to roll out tomorrow. So let's everybody have a great night. And if you're going to church, be sure you pray for all of us, the sinners. Thank you guys. Have a great night and see you tomorrow.
Right.
Have a good night.
Thank you, Rachel. I appreciate you.
You're
Bye.
welcome. Yeah, bye.
I don't even know how to end the live now. Oh, here it is.